Criminal masterminds and their ingenious heists captivate the imagination because they represent a unique intersection of intelligence, audacity, and skill. These are individuals, or groups, whose crimes are characterized not just by their illegality, but by the sheer cleverness and originality of their execution. A criminal mastermind is typically someone who uses strategic planning, psychological manipulation, and advanced technical skills to orchestrate heists that challenge the boundaries of law enforcement. The significance of exploring these figures lies in understanding the motivations, methods, and often the moral ambiguities involved in their actions, offering a lens into the complexity of human behavior and the perpetual battle between law and disorder. Consider the example of the 1971 D.B. Cooper case, where an unidentified man successfully hijacked a plane, extorted $200,000 in ransom, and then parachuted away, never to be found. This heist stands out not just for the boldness, but for the mystery that still surrounds it, challenging investigators for decades. Another example is the 2003 Antwerp Diamond Heist, where a group of thieves bypassed what seemed like impenetrable security to make off with over $100 million in diamonds, using meticulous planning and a profound understanding of technical systems. These examples illustrate not only the audacity, but also the high stakes involved in such operations, where the line between criminality and genius becomes intriguingly blurred. Opinions about these heists often highlight a grudging admiration for the intellectual prowess required, even as they condemn the illegal and harmful nature of the actions themselves. This duality raises questions about the moral implications of genius, questioning whether creativity in crime can be separated from the crime itself. However, there's also controversy. Critics argue that romanticizing such figures may inadvertently glamorize criminal activity, overshadowing the real-world consequences, particularly for victims. This exploration of criminal masterminds connects deeply with broader discussions of human ingenuity and moral boundaries. It poses questions about what differentiates a mastermind from a conventional criminal, and where society draws the line between admiration for skill and condemnation of wrongdoing. It challenges audiences to consider the societal factors that foster such brilliance turned to unlawful ends, and how law enforcement methodologies evolve in response. By examining these intriguing characters, we gain greater insight into the perpetual push and pull between order and chaos, highlighting the ongoing dynamics at the heart of criminal narratives. In exploring the concept of historical perspectives and early heists, we delve into the roots of criminal ingenuity, focusing on the early and often audacious exploits of thievery that laid the groundwork for future notorious heists. This point is vital within the broader topic of criminal masterminds, notorious thieves, and their ingenious heists, as it sets the stage for understanding the evolution of criminal tactics and the complex interplay between societal development and crime. Historically, heists have been bold acts of theft, meticulously planned and often executed with great precision and creativity. Their significance lies not only in the audacity, but also in how they reflect societal values, technological advancements, and law enforcement capabilities of their time. Through these heists, we gain insight into both the minds of the criminals and the cultural contexts that allowed such crimes to flourish. One prime example of any train robbery of 1855, executed by Edward Pierce and his accomplices in Victorian England. Using knowledge of railway operations and bribery, the thieves stole gold bullion, destined for Paris, a crime immortalized by both fiction and nonfiction. This incident highlights how industrial advancements created new avenues for crime, challenging law enforcement to adapt. Another noteworthy instance is the 1903 Banco Central heist in Argentina, where thieves tunneled their way into a bank vault, emulating an earlier tactic used in the 1869 Bank of England robbery. These heists demonstrated the use of engineering skills in criminal activities, a precursor to more sophisticated modern techniques. Opinions on early heists often revel in the daring and cleverness of the perpetrators, sometimes romanticizing their exploits. However, some contend that glorifying these crimes overlooks the societal harm they caused and the victims left in their wake. Such debates highlight the fine line between admiration for ingenuity and condemnation of criminality. Historically significant heists also spawned challenges, such as enhancing security measures and developing forensic science. As law enforcement evolved, so did criminal tactics, leading to a dynamic interplay of action and counteraction. While these heists serve as benchmarks in criminological study, they also raise controversies about the portrayal of criminals as folk heroes. In essence, these early instances of criminal enterprise influence the broader narrative of notorious heists by providing context and continuity. They inform modern understandings of criminal psychology, risk assessment, and strategic planning, connecting the past to the complex landscape of contemporary crime. The heading Iconic Thieves and Their Signature Heists dives into the daring world of notorious criminals who are remembered for their exceptionally clever heists. These individuals stand out not merely for their thefts, but for the audacity and creativity involved in planning and executing them. Their heists often entail meticulous planning, intricate knowledge of their targets, and an impressive mastery of deception and stealth. These signature heists have cemented their place in criminal lore, drawing fascination and intrigue from the public, while often highlighting vulnerabilities in security systems. Understanding iconic thieves and their signature heists is critical as it showcases the blend of criminal ingenuity and psychological acumen necessary to pull off such grand schemes. It highlights the lengths to which people will go for wealth and excitement, frequently challenging the status quo of how we understand and counteract crime. Take, for instance, the infamous case of Albert Spaggiari, who orchestrated the 1976 Nice sewer heist in France. Spaggiari led a team that tunneled into a bank's vault through the sewage system over a weekend, avoiding immediate detection and making off with millions in cash and valuables. This heist is renowned for its sheer audacity and the tactical brilliance of bypassing traditional security measures. Another example is the Great Train Robbery of 1963 in Britain, led by Reynolds, where a gang of 15 men stopped a Royal Mail train and looted over £2.6 million. This heist drew attention to the vulnerabilities of transportation security and is celebrated for its complexity and the cunning involved. Opinions on these heists are mixed. While some admire the cleverness and skill displayed, others view these acts as blatant criminal exploits that undermine law and order. The allure of these stories often romanticizes the perpetrators, overshadowing the real impact on victims and society. Moreover, the glorification of such criminal acts can be controversial, as it risks inspiring copycat crimes in a bid for notoriety. This theme connects to broader topics like the psychology of crime, security technology, advancements, and criminal justice, illustrating how even the most sophisticated systems can be breached. By studying these iconic thieves and their signature heists, we gain insight into the perpetual cat-and-mouse game between law enforcement and criminals, driving innovation in crime prevention and legal strategies. Consequently, these stories serve as both cautionary tales and historic lessons on the interplay between crime and society, influencing how we think about security and the human propensity for risk and reward. Planning and execution tactics, in famous heists, refer to the meticulous and strategic methods employed by criminals to carry out large-scale thefts successfully. These strategies involve detailed planning, resource allocation, coordination, and execution designed to overcome security measures, avoid detection, and maximize the heist's potential payoff. The significance of understanding these tactics lies at the heart of unraveling how some of the most audacious and notorious heists in history were accomplished, showcasing the interplay between criminal ingenuity and law enforcement responses. One legendary example is the 1963 Great Train Robbery in the United Kingdom, where a gang led by Bruce Reynolds meticulously planned and executed the theft of £2.6 million from a Royal Mail train. The gang's tactics included halting the train by manipulating the railway signals and subduing the train's crew, demonstrating a high level of planning and coordination. Another example is the 2003 Antwerp Diamond Heist, notable for its sophisticated plan involving bypassing security systems of the Antwerp Diamond Center. Leonardo Notarbartolo, the mastermind behind this heist, studied the security details extensively, used fake identities, and employed advanced techniques to gain access to the vault, ultimately making away with an estimated $100 million in diamonds, gold, and other jewels. These real-world examples highlight how the planning and execution of heists require a blend of creativity, technical skills, and psychological acumen, illustrating the thin line between criminal genius and apprehension. Experts often argue that detailed planning and execution elevate these heists from mere opportunistic crimes to intellectually challenging operations. However, the glamorization of such crimes can lead to ethical concerns, as it risks glorifying criminal behavior and undermines the victim's impact. Challenges arise in balancing the fascination with these criminal endeavors and their potential to inspire future crimes. Concerns about security breaches and the evolving sophistication of criminal tactics add a layer of complexity for law enforcement agencies. Additionally, advancements in technology lead to a continuous cat-and-mouse game between criminals and authorities, with each heist prompting better security measures and investigative techniques. Understanding planning and execution tactics in heists connects closely to other aspects of the main topic, such as the backgrounds and motivations of the criminals involved, and the societal impact of such crimes. It also influences the evolution of security technologies and law enforcement strategies, underscoring the relentless battle between preventing crime and the creativity employed in perpetrating it. By exploring these tactics, audiences gain insights into criminal psychology and the broader implications of such high-stakes gambits.